Hello, Aquarius. I am really excited to be sitting with your energy. I need it. I need a moment with you all. This month is just, I'll be honest, I'm recording you guys near the end of the cycle. And there's always an advantage to being near the end of my process because I really have a sense of the landscape. And so I can see how you're fitting into that in a way that is really kind of profound. I did have a really specific note that came out for you all as I was checking in with you and feeling through it. And here it is. It's like you're almost an alien to yourself at this point. Who you were even 6 months ago is like a distant memory in so many ways, to the point where it can feel a little bit disorienting. And so the main note that came up was look all around you and use all of your senses. And I feel like that might be necessary for you this month. I say that because I've also figured out that April is a month of enigma and mystery and uncertainty, and we're all working with some new physical, emotional muscles. The fixed signs specifically are going through some really interesting shifts because Uranus is now in our fellow fixed sign of Taurus. And so, I'm a Leo sun, so I have that fixed sign energy. You guys are the fixed air, and then we have Uranus in the fixed earth sign. We're getting used to that. The fixed signs are like, whoa, okay. And so we are having to take April and check in with some things. Let me start to shuffle the cards, and we'll talk through a few of the things going on, a few of the transits. So we have a new moon in Aries on the 5th of April, and that's going to be nice energy for you. It's very communicative and playful. We have a full moon in Libra on the 19th. That's going to be at 29 degrees of Libra, and that's nice to have a fellow air sign full moon. I think it will help illuminate some clarity for you. So as we kind of head into Taurus season, because that'll be right before we head into Taurus season, you'll get like a nice illumination of where to head next. Now, the most intriguing thing that I think is kind of shifting this month way behind the scenes are some of these outer planets going retro. Now, these outer planets always go retro. They go retro for a handful of months out of the year. And those retrogrades are pretty subtle. They work behind the scenes. They help you to kind of connect some dots. High Priestess came out. She's been popping out a lot. That intuitive energy, using all of your senses includes using that quiet, meditative sense of knowing, right? Intuitive knowing. Queen of Pentacles. Oh my God. You guys, this is wild. Leo got High Priestess and Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Not in that order, but still. But these transits. So we have Jupiter going retrograde in 10 of Pentacles. I like that a lot. That's some good energy for you guys. Jupiter's going retrograde on April 10th until August 11th. Saturn is going retrograde in Capricorn on April 29th until September 18th. And Pluto is going retrograde in Capricorn starting on April 24th until October 3rd. So we have some pretty heavy hitters. We have the planet of restriction, Saturn, going retrograde. We have the planet of expansion, Jupiter, going retrograde. And we have the planet of transformation, death, and rebirth going retrograde, which is Pluto. All three of them are like, let's take a moment and check in. And that will be happening over the course of the next few months. So we're just going to have to get used to that. Knight of Cups. Okay. Interesting. Three of Wands popped out. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on here. So you guys are in a bit of an interesting place. It's kind of like not here or there, right? It's kind of like you have some pieces of the puzzle, but you don't have all of them. And you're really different from who you've been. Five of Pentacles. Woo! It's been coming up. The fixed signs are having to do a lot this month with just making sure, checking in with their self-value. But you're not quite sure who you're supposed to be now. You're not who you were. You're going toward becoming something really big, and we have Ten of Swords. And you know you're done with certain patterning and certain experiences and that you're open to the next one, but you're not really quite sure what that's going to look like. Nine of Swords. Okay, you guys are getting in your heads, which, am I surprised? No. You guys are notorious overthinkers and notorious at thinking about details that we can't control anymore. Okay, so you have some heavy hitting energy, Aquas, and I think that's what I was saying when the message came around. Look around and use all of your senses. Do that, truly. So the High Priestess starts that conversation off. And what's interesting is we start the reading here today, you all, with a very useful, quiet, internalized energy. She's very good at reminding us that our knowing comes from this space that isn't about logic, and it isn't about pros and cons, and it isn't about control. It's about falling back into deep, dark waters and listening in, right? So your first message out of the gate is like, be sure you check back with this energy throughout this month, because you're going to be tempted to go to a whole bunch of other mental places that aren't necessarily going to be helpful for you and aren't necessarily going to pull you in a direction that feels good to you, right? But you have your first 5 cards, I have to be honest, are really good. Like, that's the thing. You have a lot of abundance opening up to you. You have a lot of positive, creative, focused energy around you. And the only thing that may get in the way of you kind of letting that evolution happen is your own mind and your own mindset. Sometimes I've found that when things are going really well and we are starting to feel the momentum pick up on all the good things coming into our lives, that is when our defenses kick up the loudest and the strongest. And that is when our defenses want to get in on the conversation and stop anything bad from happening. That's when we want to just stay with the familiar patterning. And being a fixed sign, part of our job with the Uranus and Taurus transit is to learn how to be a little bit more adaptable, a little bit more flowing. So you have the High Priestess, then you have another heavy-hitting Queen of Pentacles, self-value, checking in with your body, checking in with the physical, and also checking in with how you value yourself, how you value your time and your energy. Both of these are high value. They want to check in with your whole process and make sure that how do you feel about yourself? How do you talk to yourself? How do you treat yourself physically, emotionally? Are you holding quiet spaces so that you make sure that you are doing what feels good to your soul? Are you taking those practices? These energies are very strong on taking practice. So even if it's like 5 minutes a day of just a little bit of meditation, even if it's just a few short stretches and that's all you can fit in your busy schedule, because I know you guys tend to overwork and overcommit, push hard, push yourselves to the brink, and then you wonder why you don't feel good. These cards are definitely like, slow down. What you doing? Are you checking in? Are you checking in? It's so wild too. I'm like getting like, I'm like having like heat roll through my body right now, you guys, because the Leo Aquarius connection is so strong. And when I'm doing your reading, I have the weirdest experience of it where I feel like I'm having a conversation with myself, but it's not me. I'm having that happen right now. It's just, we're so linked, and I love that. Like, I'm like, yes, I'm like excited that I get to be a Leo, because that means that I get to be with you guys in our axis, and I think our axis is so amazing and powerful and cool. But anyway, I digress. So you have these 2 beautiful space holders, right? They're magnetizers. You also have the legacy building card. Now, this is always a clue to me if it's coming up in a reading that what's going on this month has a lot to do with tapping into what you're going to be doing over the next several years and how you're wanting to build into that. Because the 10 of Pentacles is all about building that legacy. It's all about building the long-range plan. It's all about connecting into long-range vision. And when you have 10 of Pentacles working with you, you are on that. But it means that it takes time to develop that. So you're starting to plug into what this looks like and what this feels like. And there is this underground momentum going on with it. Not only that, I mean, you got the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is such a giver. You know, he kind of shows it's like all the romantic, beautiful, it's like truth, love, and beauty. Knight of Cups is totally the truth, love, and beauty guy. You know, like he wants to write beautiful poetry and create beautiful art and just express emotion and share. And it's kind of funny that it's showing up here because it's like in the context of all these other things, it's almost like you guys are feeling really emotive and feeling very sharing and feeling even almost buoyant and open and playful, sharing your ideas, sharing what you have coming up to the surface. You might also have some infusions of some offers. You know, the Knight of Cups is very much like offer energy, like, hey. So that can look like something that has to do with legacy building. That can look like relationship. That can look like creative opportunity. It's going to look different for each of you, but you definitely have that energy. The final really fun card here is the Three of Wands. Your ships are arriving. Your shipment is arriving. The merchant who has been waiting on the shore is receiving his response. It's the call and response, and this is the response part of the call. So what's interesting about you guys this month is there's been something that you've been calling out for and hoping for and waiting for a while. And with the Three of Wands, that's telling me it's showing up. Now, the thing with the way that the universe works, water finds the fastest path downhill, right? And with our asking in the world, we get the most immediate way that something can come up often. And we get it in the way that we really asked for it. But sometimes that packaging and that timing and how it looks and how it feels is a little different. And we have to be kind of open for that, right? We have to be kind of open for what that delivery is going to look like, because often the delivery will be different than we pre-wrote it, because the universe, law of attraction, vibrational reality, reflective reality, all of that, however you want to look at it, understands that macro, very highly technical machine, that it's what it's trying to deliver to you. Now, here's the thing. I think you're getting a lot of really good things coming in. Like, clearly, every single one of these cards is this positive, expansive, playful, creative, hopeful, new doors opening energy. And yet, the last three cards you guys have are all about fear and loss and getting into our heads and thinking we can't have what we want. That we can't have it because it's going to fall away, because it's going to disappear, because we're not worth it. And probably in the end, we're going to get shut out from it anyway, so why would we open up to it, right? Those energies are getting triggered like nobody's business with you guys. And when I see these three cards, this is the blessing of having them in a reading. We are acknowledging them. So 5 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, and 9 of Swords. When you get these three cards, you are getting an acknowledgement that there is something deeper going on here with you opening up to this next phase. And we are getting an acknowledgement that there will be this rise up in mental circuits that are old, that are no longer serving you, pinging at you and trying to stop you and keep you safe. It's basically your fear voice and your old patterning that was self-protective, trying to keep you safe when something new starts to arrive. So if we can acknowledge that now, when you start to feel it, you will be able to recognize what that is for what it is and release it. But here's what I'm going to say about this. 5 of Pentacles, when it shows up, is that fear that we are not enough, that whatever we love is going to leave us. It's often a fear of abandonment. It's a fear of being shut off from source, shut off from those that we love, shut off from the things that we love the most, shut off from the opportunities we want to live with and in. And there's something about you guys, it's almost like you're more comfortable if you just, okay, I already know that it's going to be like that. I'm just going to get used to being out in the snow. At least that way, like, I know that that shot's been called and I can just live with it, and I'll just live with it and it'll be fine. But the 5 of Pentacles is all an illusion. That's the funny thing, because it's a Pentacles card, but it's really an emotional energy. It's really an emotional state of feeling shut out. And it's being driven on by these very swords, fear-based energies. So on the one hand, there is a death of self going on here, you guys. There is a death of a cycle. There is a death of something that happened. And Leo got this card as well. Once again, you guys, it's kind of wild. That death of self. Now, I love the 10 of Swords because it's a shedding of the skin. It's a shedding of an identity. It's a shedding of a way of seeing or viewing. It's a shedding of a paradigm. Paradigm shift is kind of a cheesy way to put it, but that's what Ten of Swords essentially does. Now that can look like some kind of crazy brutal thing in the world, but a lot of times the Ten of Swords works at us in the middle of the night, when we're having dreams, when we're waking up, when we wake up in the morning. And the Nine of Swords is a little less poetic, to be quite honest. The Ten of Swords is kind of cool because it is about that death. The Nine of Swords is just spinning your wheels. So here's my advice for those three cards, because they are all very mental. They are all very much about old circuitry in the brain. That is so there. It's been wired in, so it's really easy to just follow the circuits, and they will just, once they've been initiated, they can go through their whole thing. This is a great month for Aquarians to do any kind of like EFT tapping. You can find resources for it on YouTube. It's very simple, and it helps you do basic rewiring of anything where you may feel blocked, or you may feel like you are wanting to stop yourself from being open to something because you have a circuitry. And so that's a really useful, very helpful, easy tool to use. Any kind of tapping, EFT process is really great for that. So if you're noticing that you're starting to feel those blockages, it's a great time to, you can get online and play with that a little bit and see what works for you and see what comes up for you, because it's a beautiful strategy to override our analytical minds and help that our brains and our energetic and our electrical systems work a little bit more in alignment with our souls. So you are also working on fusing those two, because your soul's got all this amazing stuff going on and the energy's coming in, and your mind and your old wiring is kind of somewhere else. So we want to find a way to bring those two together and give you guys a nice space to hold. I'm really excited for this month because I think you guys are going to grow a lot, and I think you're going to get a lot of new opportunities. And as you do that, you're shedding a skin and you're becoming something new. And I think it will be a quite intensive month, a month where you really feel like you lived and you've lived through that month and it was really intense. But I'm excited for that for you, because I feel like Aquarians need that, right? The intensity of living. I don't know. You can find me on Instagram at Sarah Verba. I would love to see you guys over there. You know how much I love to connect with you all. Over there I do a lot of energy updates. You can also book a session with me. I'm still booking sessions. It's a few months in advance, so you just want to plan ahead. My website is SARAHTAROT.com. I would love to see you over there. You can find all of my contact info in the description box. It's the first thing down there, so you can find me on Instagram, on my website, my email, all of that is there. I'm also wearing PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry, as always. I got the crown back. I was feeling the crown this week. You can find all of her amazing stuff on her Etsy shop. I'll leave that link below as well. And all of my collaborators that I love to work with, I'm going to leave all their info there so that you can know. I have some amazing people in my life who create and construct and do in so many different ways, and I love it. So I'll leave all of that below. I am sending you guys so much love. I will see you very soon for more moon magics and for more monthly updates. And have a beautiful April. My mirrors, my soul friends, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.